I think the easiest way is just to get straight into it, because we are lacking organization and structure. With all the things that have been going on, not just recently but for years, there has never been an agreed upon way that we must go about things. And anyone in the black community who was able to do something, they were killed. And there's a reason for that. Now, I'm immediately going to say, do I think all white people are racist? No. But that really doesn't matter, because there's a system in place that's holding a lot of people down. And while you may not be able to see how in everyday life it is affecting us, psychologically, it's doing a lot more than you could imagine. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I feel we should go about things in future, what we can do ourselves today, and also just point out some of the gaps where we as black people need to step up to be able to hold each other accountable for what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is education. Black people, where are we looking for education? We as black people, if I said to you, this is the person you're going to follow, this person is going to teach you how to live the rest of your life successfully and get you to where you want to be, the only person who would be a suitable option is Obama and maybe his wife. As black people, we don't have people that we can look up to in that way. And if you want to blame media, you can, because they are of course at fault, but that doesn't mean they're entirely at fault. Because the black people that we look up to, they're not leaders, they are entertainers. They hold an incredible amount of attention, and they are very skilled in their specific areas. And they are also intellects, but we do not follow them for their intellect. We follow them for the skill that they have. For example, Kevin Hart, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Will Smith, John Boyega. These are incredibly skilled people in their professions, and they are all extremely intelligent people, and they are all successful people. But if I said to you, these people are going to lead us, I would hope that you wouldn't choose to follow these people. They are entertainers. These people are not leaders. But if I said there is a white person that you were going to follow, to white people, to black people, there are so many options for white people. I, as an individual, would be comfortable if someone like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, I would be comfortable living in a world that they controlled. And to be honest, they almost do, let's face it. Because what they are known for is their intellect and their success and their ability to get something done which benefits so many people. But we don't have that as black people. The only other person I can think of is Oprah. But she still is really an entertainer, at least in my opinion. So the first thing that I will tell you as black people that we need to change is we need to change where we get our information from. Little black girls should not be looking up to Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Kim K. Is she black? I don't know. These black females, there's nothing wrong with them. They are extremely talented. But these are the people who are entertainers, and they are teaching people to entertain. They are not teaching people to lead and be more successful as people. And that's not their fault. I'm not expecting them to. But we cannot have them as our most prominent figures in society. Why do you think we let them through? Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, in my opinion, were so similar. So why do you think the media allowed both of them to succeed? It solidifies an image and an idea of what we should be as black people. Let me ask you, if on one side of the country, Obama and Michelle were giving speeches, about life, about success, just generally on stage talking to us. Versus on the other side of the country, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, they were all giving some crazy concerts together. I know that most black people would go to that concert. And that's not wrong. That isn't wrong. I'm absolutely not condemning that. But what I am saying is that if you want progress, then you have to go to where the progress is going to be. Because I bet that would be a crazy ass time. That would give you some great memories. But what it would not give you is a foundation of knowledge and skills and anything that you can build upon to improve your life. It will only give you an escape for that brief moment and then go back and maybe be a conversation that you have for a couple of months and every time you meet someone new. So the first thing that I believe we need to change is who we look up to. And if you need suggestions, Malcolm X is still relevant today as he ever was. Martin Luther King is still relevant today as he ever was. I personally prefer Malcolm X. Eric Thomas is an exceptional motivational speaker, and he gives people real lessons about life that I feel they can use. And Barack Obama, although he is more politicized and is unable to say certain things, he has still said some pretty profound things in his time. So we need to change where we're looking for progress. And the second thing I said is we need to be more organized. It is clear that we all want equality. It is clear that we want a specific outcome. But we're not going about it the right way. And people have said that for a long time, but they've never given a resolution. And if you want, you can ask my girlfriend. I've been saying this for a long time, but having watched some Malcolm X videos, it really solidifies how I feel. Every action we make should be purposeful. So if we go out to protest in the middle of an area, burning down a random store, looting something is not going to help. It is an inconvenience. And if anything, you probably did that in your local area. So now you're fucking up your own ends. That doesn't even make sense. But you're angry and you need someone to pay. Let me ask you, do we know the names of the officers that have been causing us so much pain? Do we know the names of the judges that are giving light sentences to murderers and sometimes not even prosecuting them at all? Do we know the names of the people who are appointing these judges, knowing that they are not doing their job properly? Yeah, we do. So if these individuals are able to have that much power, and some are taking people's lives, or they are deciding on what will happen for the rest of some people's lives, on our lives, on innocent lives, that makes them not so innocent. And every action has a consequence. So what are their consequences? Because that police officer and many others have taken lives of innocent people. And in my opinion, that means they should not have the right, or they should not have the ability to comfortably live the rest of theirs. And I want you to understand what I'm saying. I did not say they should be killed. And I will never say those words. What I did say was that they are taking our people's lives. So they should no longer be able to live theirs how they had intended. We can find out where they live. That's not an offense. They should know what it looks like to be afraid just from seeing someone. Because when black people see the police, we feel afraid. We feel looked upon. We feel judged. We feel insecure. And apparently it's not a crime to make someone feel that way. So surely they should feel the same. Not all police, not all white people. But there are bad people out there dressed in police uniforms. And they are the ones who need to pay a price for what they're doing. And based on what I'm said, you might be thinking, Who is crazy enough to do that kind of stuff? Are we not already burning stuff? Are we not already looting? Are we not already fighting the police? But we are doing it with such anger that we have no control over what we're doing. Because let me tell you something, in a fight between the most angry person and the best trained is always going to win. You can do some damage when you're angry. You can absolutely do some damage when you're angry. But when you are trained to hurt someone, when you are trained to fight someone, the angry person stands no chance. And that is why we will never get justice the way we are fighting. The police, they come out organized. There is one person who gives out a plan, maybe a couple of people who deliberate on it, but there's one person who gives an order of how the police is going to shut us down. But we don't have any organization when it comes to how we are going to retaliate. And I will never advocate for violence or hate on people. We should always be kind to people who are kind to us. But we are not then kind to people who do not respect us, to people who do not show us the common decency of a human. And that's how we should behave in kind. They have come into our homes and attacked us. They have broken open our cars and shot us. And they don't even know who we are. We know who they are, and yet we light shops on fire. We throw stuff at what? That's not the answer. We have to be organized. And you might say, Daniel, I don't want to be violent. No problem. We can protest as non-violently, never retaliate to anyone, but make those protests useful. Because let me tell you something. At our protests, we are shouting messages. We are saying things. But what are we learning? The protest is to raise awareness, or is to get something accomplished. So with that many black people there, with that many people that support our cause there, surely we can do better than just shout at people in the street. Our protest should be an opportunity to educate everyone on how they can better themselves and how they can improve to move forward from this stage. At a protest, I would not expect people in the crowd to be shouting messages, shouting things at the police. Everyone already knows. We have the media. Raising awareness never cured cancer, so why would raising awareness cure racism? Because it is a sickness that people have kept and held on to from years of slavery and the way that the system has been set up for people to subconsciously think in a certain way that they're able to treat others like that. So at our protests, we should not be shouting. We should not be running around. We should be organized. There should be people there leading. There should be people there sharing knowledge. There should be people there who are making the people who are fighting for our cause more equipped to fight, more knowledgeable, and make themselves better so that when they leave, there's been some kind of progress. If not with the government, within ourselves. Because at the moment, shouting at other people is not helping. And I even saw one video where Black Lives Matter went to a Trump rally. I don't know what you expected to happen. But we should not be trying to join our cause with others. This is our cause. We are not trying to win over everyone by barging into their institution, by barging into what they want to do and causing the disruption. Because in that situation, we can only be met with rejection. We can only be met with anger. Which is why it will look like we don't get accepted. Imagine if we as black people were holding a Black Lives Matter rally and then a bunch of Trump protesters came in. We would immediately be upset. Not because of what they stand for, not because of who they are, just because that they have come into our space and disrupted us. This is not the way to get things done. We need to be organized. We need to have a reason for everything we are doing. which means when there is injustice, we need to organize ourselves and be able to deal with it if the justice system hasn't learned. If we are leading a protest, we have to be organized and make sure every single person at that protest understands why they are there and what they are going to get when they leave. They should not just be leaving feeling catharsis from releasing emotions. They should not leave maybe even feeling more angry. They should leave feeling better as people, better in our progress. And that is what we are missing so far. So that's what we can do about it in future. Let me ask you this question. If someone said to you, he's black, there's no way he can do it, what would you be thinking of? Because to me it sounds like because of him being black, he's not able to maybe get a job, maybe he's not able to succeed in something, but it seems like his blackness is holding him back from something. But if I said to you, he's white, there's no way he can do it, what does that sound like? To me it sounds like I'm just saying there's a white guy in the 100-meter final. And that's not the way it should be. Our blackness should not be what defines us as people. Our blackness should not be seen as something that is inferior, that holds us back. A lot of white people see it as dangerous. And as long as we are seen for the black and not the people, we will never have equal rights because we are not even seen as equal humans. And what I guarantee you is that there are no black people saying, I want to be treated like a white person. And the reason is, white person are not the standard by which we measure our lives and who we are. White people made themselves a standard through years of slavery. But as black people, we do not want to be treated like black people. We want to be treated like people. And the way you treat a white person is the same as you treat a black person. You focus on the person, not the color. Which means it is unacceptable that when a white man attacks a black man is then seen as the aggressor when he tries to defend himself. And when a black person gets into an altercation, you may think, why do we not call the police? What do we do if they're already there? They're already on scene. And they're the ones who are attacking us. And you've already seen what happens when we don't have any weapons on us. When we don't try and defend ourselves, we're still being killed. So if we try to stand up, what happens then? What do we do then? So this is why black people, we cannot go out and look for approval and respect from others. We have to first respect ourselves. We have to first make ourselves better as people. And I don't mean good enough to deserve respect. I just mean we have to improve our lives so we don't have to look out there for what we can already get from ourselves. So that we don't have to worry about everything that's going to be happening to us. Which means we need something to look up to. And for me, that is a leader. And how do you choose a leader? A leader is not just someone who allows himself to be followed. A leader is someone who teaches others to be able to lead themselves. While they can be used as a guide and a role model, they enable others, they empower others to be able to work for themselves, to fend for themselves. That is how you choose a leader. And that is what we need. We need a leader who can guide us. And once we have a leader, someone we can truly look up to, we will have a path laid before us. Because we already have the power to do what we need. Malcolm X gave an amazing speech about all the parts of the body. They are controlled by one, and that is the mind, the head of the body. And we have all the parts in place. We have people who are ready to fight. We have people who are ready to defend. But the mind and the head coordinates what the rest of the body does. And that is what we're missing. We're missing a coordinated strike. We're missing coordinated moves. Which is why we haven't made the progress that we want. And which is why they have killed any black man that has been close to giving us freedom. So if anyone's still watching this video at this point, I hope my words have helped you. And I hope we can take this message forward and not try and become equal to white people. And we are not trying to be treated like white people. What I hope is that we can get the self-belief and the ability to lift each other up. Just as white people are able to do for each other, they are able to create businesses, create wealth, and support one another. There is no need for us to have white people involved. While it would be great if we can have all humans working together, at the moment that seems like it's not a possibility. What needs to happen is we need to show that we can support each other and create opportunities for each other for us to thrive and prosper.